Well, hello and welcome to this week's edition of Movie Burner News, and today's headline, John, is Captain Marvel, surprise, surprise, opening to $150 million plus in its opening weekend, that is in North America.
That's very, very impressive, Stephen, I have to say. I haven't seen the film. I'm not too surprised by that figure, I have to say. It's a pretty decent film. There's some niggles in there. I don't know whether I want to get into that at this present moment in time. We are discussing the potential massive opening weekend. We are a little bit behind here, Stephen, in terms of when we're filming this, when this show is going to air. So it may very well be confirmed by the time this goes out that it has indeed broke this, or maybe even dipped slightly below the projected opening figures.
Time will tell, John,
$150 million opening weekend, that is very, very impressive indeed. Very strong showing for a film which, let's be frank, most people thought was going to do a little bit crap because there was a bit of a backlash. Also the certain fandom, certain sections of fandom, I should say, were a little bit unhappy with Brie Larson. Some of her comments about the promotion side of this thing, the journalists being predominantly white male, and they were boycotting it, and they were putting, they were the review bombing it on Rotten Tomatoes to such an extent where Rotten Tomatoes were actually having to get rid of, I think it was 20,000 reviews from the site prior to the film actually being released. So that's impressive. And look, it's been reflected in the United Kingdom as well. It was projected, it has been projected to open to over £5 million in the United Kingdom's box office, which is equally strong numbers indeed. When you look at the comparison of other MCU films, the likes of Captain America, it opened with $3 million, Thor opened with 5.4, which is similar to Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange 9.3, Deadpool 13.7, Black Panther 18 million. This is the opening day, the $5 million figure from Britain. I'm pretty damn sure it will open to a whole lot more than that over the whole weekend.
Yes, I think it will, John, and I think I'm going to be very lazy. I'm going to go back to our audio days when we used to word for word from articles. This is from Variety.
You did, Stephen.
Listen, it does say in this article, should the projections hold, Captain Marvel will wind up with one of the top 20 domestic opening weekends of all time. Sony's Spider-Man 3 has the 19th highest launch frame with a $151.1 million in 2007. It will be the biggest opening title since Incredibles 2 launched with $182 million in June. And I'll just finish this off with the projections follow an impressive $20.7 million take from Thursday night's previews, the 18th highest preview number of all time and the 5th biggest for a Marvel title, behind only the second and third Avengers, Black Panther and Captain America Civil War. Yeah,
again, Stephen, I think this just highlights just the power of Marvel and also Disney, what they've managed to accomplish with this MCU, this expanded universe, what Kevin Feige, Bob Iger and just everybody involved in this incredible cinematic universe, what they've managed to create and establish here. Just about every single film within this greater kind of working machine, kind of an umbrella of different films. They seem to just go on and do good money no matter what the hell the film's about. Even lesser films like Ant-Man, not many people would have known about Scott Lang Ant-Man. Not many people would have known about Doctor Stephen Strange and things like that. These were lesser characters and they still made magnificent money. Certainly a whole lot more people would have known about Carol Danvers and obviously Captain Marvel. It's one of the primary characters that's ran through the MCU. I do believe, I've not read many of the comics, I'm pretty damn sure she has been about for a long time and she's had quite an influence and sway in the comics, so more people know about her. So it's been expected that this film would open pretty strongly, boycotting aside from the man babies and the Cheeto eating basement dwellers. It was pretty much expected to open pretty well. It's been getting mixed reviews, Stephen, from the critics and also the regular audience, the plebs like me, who have seen this film. Some have not enjoying it.
Well, listen,
too much of a cat in it. I would agree.
You know, as this show airs, John, we do have obviously a movie review from the movie Couple. And it is a bit of a mixed bag, but we will get into that in a few weeks' time because we are limiting our our blog rundown down to 2. So it will be a few weeks before we do discuss that.
So can I get into the cat?
You can get into the film if you like, because I'm not really that fussed about spoilers anyway. If you're if you are, you might want to wind us on to the next topic. But listen, just feel free to
quickly. I'll make it brief, Stephen, because we're going to move on to another topic, which is touching upon Captain Marvel. So it's one continuous harmonious, or how you want to call it, I don't know, harmonious.
That's the word.
Homogeneous kind of a topic, joint double topic we're starting the show with. So I'll briefly touch upon it. My one biggest gripe is this cat. I heard people talking about a cat. I seen the cat in the trailer and I thought, right, that's cute, it's a little cat. Nick Fury's having a moment with it, we'll move on from the cat. Right, we do it in the film, it moves on, then the cat pops back up again in this sort of a plane that they're in. I'm like, right, the cat's there, good comedic levity. It'll go away. No, this cat continues all the way through, right to the end credits, man. This goddamn cat. Jesus Christ, they went too in on the cat, Stephen. I liked the cat. Don't get me wrong, I'm a cat lover. But it was a shape-shifting alien cat with tentacles coming out of its mouth, and it did swallow the Tesseract. So there's a nice little Easter egg in there. It also gave Nick Fury his wonky eye. It sliced his eye open. So there was another Easter egg in there. But there was too much cat, man. There was too much cat. It's a cat. It was too much of a cat. But look, that was my one gripe, Stephen. For the most part, I did enjoy this film. I thought it was pretty linear, though not a great, overcomplicated sort of a story going on. Pretty straight to the point. The origins of Brie Larson's Carol Danvers. She forgets her memory, her memories of Earth. She comes back trying to find out about this mysterious figure in her past that she's seen in these visions. Ben Mendelsohn's villainous character, put that in inverted commas because he's technically not for a sizable portion of the film, but at the start he is anyway. He kind of taps into her memory. She sees this doctor figure in her past, goes back to Earth, and she's kind of trying to stop I think it's I always get mixed up with the Kree and the Skrull. She's trying to stop the shapeshifters anyway, and that's how she comes to Earth. But it's very linear, it's very straight to the point. There's not a huge amount. It's not a big overcomplicated.
A lot of 90s references.
There's a lot of 90s references, I have to say, and I really enjoyed the score, or the music, which was soundtrack, and that's what I'm looking for. A lot of great 90s songs in there, Stephen. Samuel L. Jackson was absolutely outstanding as Nick Fury. They have absolutely nailed this de-aging technique. It's just incredible. He's in a huge portion of the film and you would never know that he's been de-aged, such as the brilliance of the CG. And he's nailing all the mannerisms of a younger Samuel L. Jackson, and it's kind of a slightly reined back, reeled in Nick Fury as well. He's not the man we know in the later films, and that's great. He just turns it back just a little bit. I liked Coulson as well. He was in it a lot less, but great de-aging again. Brie Larson was outstanding, I thought. She really did do well with the character. A lot of people have said they didn't connect her, they didn't like her performance. I disagree, I quite liked her performance, and I connected to the character, and also Nick Fury's character. And all in all though, Stephen, I'm giving it away. I'm giving a movie review here, and it's not about movie reviews, but outside of the cat, I digress. I quite enjoyed the film, and I'm not surprised to see it's something pretty damn strong. It's a good addition to the MCU. I've not got it in my top 5 or even my top 10 though. There's still a whole host of films ahead of there. Just about every Captain America film's ahead of it.
But we are talking about Marvel films here. They are on another level, to be fair.
Doctor Strange is ahead of it.
Even the worst Marvel film is still a really good film. So,
it's a damn good film, Stephen. Great visuals, great music, some brilliant performances, and I enjoyed it.
We'll come in move on to the next topic. Playlist, John, playlist.net that is. It's the headline is Kevin Feige explains why Nick Fury didn't use the Captain Marvel beeper until Infinity War. It really just goes into the whole host of things. I think there's actually a joke made in Ant-Man, about why didn't they just call the Avengers? And it does kind of beg the question, why not just get, your strongest hero to solve the problem?
But is she? Is she the strongest?
But, well, we don't know that, but listen, the question's there. Kevin Feige did answer it, John. I don't know if you want to get into the explanation of the answer, but it really just, it's not really giving you too much in regards to his response to the question, but
it basically just says, how do we know he didn't use it prior to the events of
it raises more questions than answers,
And the truth is, he may have used it multiple times, and that may subsequently be filled in another Captain Marvel film, which they do say in the article. Just the way it's panning out, just that mid-credit scene of Captain Marvel where she pops up. I don't think that's how we're going to see this character popping up in Endgame, so I think there'll be a degree of ambiguity in how she's going to flesh into this story, and I think we will see them go back and maybe do a subsequent prequel film with Captain Marvel again, and maybe even see Nick Fury page in her. There's my dog, Hallie's.
I was going to say, John, it would have been funny if they did, put some kind of insertion into maybe a special edition of the Avengers film where you get, Captain Marvel looking at a page and going, that pest again,
Yeah, well, she does pop up, Stephen. Spoiler again, she definitely does pop up. She gets a page out of it. But look, man, why did he not use it prior to this? There could be a whole host of reasons, Stephen. As it does say, Carol Danvers does say to him at the end of Captain Marvel, only contact me if it's a real emergency. So he's not going to be using it every single day, pestering her, saying, look, this bloody cat's hard work, going to come back and save me from this.
Not even the incident in New York, no?
No, they had a Hulk, Stephen, as they like to say numerous times in that. We've got a Hulk.
Yeah.
And he ragdolled Loki. When you look back, Stephen, on reflection, Loki isn't a proper villain, is he?
He's not.
He's more of a devious, cunning guy who opened up this sort of a wormhole in the sky and allowed these alien creatures to come in. He wasn't a real.
I think that first Avengers film, looking in hindsight, John, it really is just the fascination of bringing all these big characters to life and bringing them all together. We weren't really caring about the villain, to be honest with you. We really just wanted to see the interactions between the Hulk, Thor, Captain America,
Loki and Thor as well. That dynamic of the two.
Yeah, definitely.
He's just so trusting.
They kind of got away with it in that sense. Didn't so much in Age of Ultron, sadly. Ultron was played by the great James Spader. He voiced it. It was a great visually looking menacing character as well, but the plot to that was an absolute disaster. But it's a very interesting article, and it does raise more questions than answers, like we were saying, John, with Kevin Feige. He really does just say, well, how do we know he's not used it before and she's just not answered it?
Exactly. There's not been a pressing enough emergency for him to actually contact her. As I did say, they had the Hulk, they had Thor, they had Iron Man doing his stuff, whole host of incredibly powerful characters. The first Avenger, or is he? Is he the first Avenger? No, he is. Yes.
They couldn't get back and change that.
No, he's definitely the first Avenger.
It's the title of the movie.
Yeah, I'm being facetious, Stephen. Anyway, because Captain Marvel, it's set in the 90s, she gets transported off with Jude Law's Marvel character. It's not really Marvel, that's another spoiler on that.
Well, listen, the aging of the character as well raised a few questions as well, John, in regards to the character not aging. But listen, it's comic book. Steve Rogers doesn't age, as much as your average man. So they can get around that. I don't know. I've not seen the film, John, so I don't even know if it's explained.
Well, she's got this power within her, Stephen, this energy, which can certainly stop her from aging, slow down the aging process. Which, in fact, apparently, it says in a line that was supposed to be in the film but didn't make the final cut. That's what it says, that she does age slower with this thing inside her, obviously pulsing through her. That gives her her main power. But look, man, as I did say, come back to that brief little topic about obviously why did he not use the pager. There's a whole host of reasons why he didn't use it. She may have been busy doing things. She's an intergalactic sort of a creature. She's off doing things. She's a busy person. She's trying to save I believe it's the Kree. I keep mixed up.
Or from
Nick
Fury's point of view, he might have been embarrassed to use it in modern days.
Yeah, is it the Kree, Stephen? Am I talking crap? I need to quickly check this.
I've not seen the film, John. So
yeah, is it the shapeshifters or the Kree? I'm putting 2 seconds. I'll have a look. Kree? No, it's not the Kree. I'm talking crap. It's the Skrull. She's off trying to rehouse the Skrull. They're often there's a bit of a twist there if you're not a comic book reader like me. So she's off doing that. She's a busy person, and they had a whole host of Avengers anyway. So that's the gist of why she perhaps didn't answer the pager, or he didn't use the pager, or maybe he did, as I says, and it'll be shown in another Captain Marvel film. Who knows, man?
But listen, we'll move on to the next article, John. This came in from CNBC. This was an article that really, it's really confirmed, I think it's confirmed anyway, in regards to Disney's Plus, the streaming service that's coming very soon. It's going to be housing Disney's entire motion pictures library, including movies traditionally kept in the vault. Now, John, this is some amount of material we're talking about here from Disney, over the past 70 years, I would say. Looking back, this really delighted me. When I was growing up, John, I don't know if you know this, but certainly here in Scotland, the only time you got to see Disney motion pictures was in the cinema. We had VHS out, we had Betamax out, but Disney for some reason did not release these on home, formats for a very long time. I think it was maybe the late 80s, early 90s before they were finally released. I think that was probably because the box office numbers were dropping in the cinemas by this point. But I can remember Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs at the Odeon in Renfield Street here in Glasgow, with queues around the block. My grandmother was going to take us to go and see this. Changed her mind when she saw the queues that were around the block. It was like the Beatles. That's what it was like. It was like Beatlemania, just to go and see a Disney film, because it was the only way you could see it back in the day. Now we're getting the whole kit and caboodle. We're getting everything in your home. In your home at the touch of a button. Around, it certainly is, John. Yeah,
well, Stephen, that just speaks volumes for obviously the business model back in those days. You make things scarce, and it's also harder to reach. Then you're going to get more, obviously, anticipation for the films coming out in the cinema, and that will boost the box office numbers. Disney, I do believe, were in a bit of bother at some point, weren't they, financially? They had to kind of go off and do retakes, obviously make the more modern sort of animated versions like the Lion King and stuff like that. Really rejuvenate it.
I think it's very much like
it's not what they are now.
I think it's more.
I don't think they were ever skint.
Well, I think it's like John. I think it's like you know, music. I think after a certain amount of time, artists are, you know, own the rights to their own songs, have to go and re-record the songs to keep the rights. I think they've got to do something. I can't remember what it is, because ownership has a, you know, like expiry on anything. Doesn't matter if it's film, any medium, whatever it is. And I think you're right. I think Disney perhaps are doing that with their live action. I don't know if that's true or not, if that was the reason, or if they're just bringing all these stories, you know, modern, you know, up to modern day standards. There's certainly a reason for it, but I think there was, certainly with Marvel were in a hell of a state. They sold off a lot of their properties, and it's only now they're starting to, you know, get them back through Fox and stuff like that. The Incredible Hulk was, I can't remember, was it Paramount? I can't remember who owned that. You had Spider-Man, who obviously Sony have still got a hold of, but they had to do it to just
they're not letting go,
just to survive, you know. And you look at these companies, the likes of Marvel and Disney, they weren't always as successful as we know them by today's standards, you know. Yeah,
man, I may have been getting mixed up with Marvel, it may be possible, but I do seem to recall hearing something that maybe the anticipation or just the interest was dipping.
Yeah.
And they had to go off and really think out the box and do something different, obviously, with new films and stuff, The Lion King, things like that, Aladdin, to try and reinvigorate a new generation of audience members. But it certainly worked, because look at them now, they're just an absolute monstrous studio. They're taking over whole studios, something that's never been done before. And now they're creating their own streaming service, and as you did say, Stephen, the general gist of this article and the topic is that they're going to bring everything into this, from the vault, all the classic films, all the classic animated films, everything that came from Disney. But like, I sometimes forget the likes of James and the Giant Peach and stuff like that were Disney films. I mean, that was a Disney film. That stop motion animation. So there's a whole host of interest. Was Splash Disney?
Kind of reeks of Disney,
Yeah, so you've got these films which you perhaps not presume were Disney films.
I think a lot of was it Buena Vista or something like that? It was one of the distribution companies. I can't remember, but there was a whole host of them from the sort of early 80s to sort of late 80s. That were distributed from various companies that were owned by Disney. We're seeing it now with the likes of Marvel and Lucasfilm as well. You've got to remember all of that stuff's going to be under this streaming service as well.
It is, not John, just that, they're buying the rights to, obviously, through Fox, National Geographic and stuff like that. So don't think that's going to be on the actual Disney Plus streaming service. That's going to be a National Geographic separate thing. I think they're utilising Hulu for another thing as well, and ESPN or something. They've got their finger in every pie. But as I do say in the article, Steve, the service which I mentioned earlier is going to launch later this year. They're going to combine what we call library, product, movies and all sorts, and it's all stuff that's going to be in the vault, which traditionally wouldn't have been released. They'd pop it out every couple of years to sort of invigorate interest in it and get people to go out. But now we're going to have it in our home in this service, and it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait till it comes out. Definitely going to subscribe to it. It's something that I'm very interested in. It may or may not replace Netflix for me. Time will tell. Netflix are definitely getting their act together though, Stephen, and really upping the quality of their stuff and just the people they're able to attract in. But I'm a Disney fan, so I'll probably ditch them for Disney.
But listen, we'll move on to the next article, John. It's a couple of little short articles. First one coming in from the playlist.net once again, and this is Matt Smith. Says he's definitely not in Star Wars Episode 9. We're not going to talk about that. We'll save that one for the Force Friday show.
What are you talking about, Matt?
But
come on.
He also explains why he chose Morbius as his first superhero film. Now, Matt Smith has had a little bit of bad luck in regards to feature films. He had a big part to play in Genesis, as you remember, the Terminator film, which was it was supposed to be the film that was going to rejuvenate the franchise. It didn't. A lot of interesting concepts.
That was the word I was trying to think about earlier on, incidentally. Not reinvigorate, it was rejuvenate. Rejuvenate interest.
But listen, he's a fine actor. We saw him in The Crown, we saw him in Doctor Who. That was the first thing I saw him in.
First thing I saw him in as well.
An absolutely amazing actor. I think he deserves a chance. I think this film, Morbius, where he's going to be playing this character, I don't really know too much about, John.
Yeah, something Crown,
it's Lox's Crown.
Lox's Crown,
you'll be able to fill us in a little bit more about this character.
I've got another quote about the character, Yeah, he's basically a friend turned enemy of Morbius. Morbius is the living vampire. So he's this friend figure that turns on him. And they say that he basically transforms into a bloodthirsty superhuman creature overnight, with Morbius tasked to stop his sanguineous rampage once and for all. So there's a brief little summary.
Yeah.
He turns into a bloodthirsty superhuman creature. And I can't think of anybody better to play this bloodthirsty superhuman creature than Matt Smith, Stephen. The guy has got a way about him, and he's definitely a good actor, as you did say. We've seen it in the likes of Doctor Who. The guy knows how to act. We've seen it in The Crown. I believe he plays Prince Philip in The Crown. Yeah, very well too. So the guy's got great range. I'm glad to see he's finally making the jump into a comic book movie. It's such as the nature of comic book movies now. It's not going to typecast you for life. And they're doing wacky things with it. They're doing different genres within it. And tapping into different cool little nifty things. They're able to attract guys like Jared Leto, Tom Hardy, and now also Matt Smith coming in. The character's intriguing. If he is playing this, whatever the hell he's called, the Crown character, Walsh's Crown, it's very intriguing. I definitely think this is the route they have to go down, Stephen, with these sort of villainous universe, this villainous universe that Sony are crafting. We were talking about this in a previous episode. It may have been an audio episode when we first heard that Matt Smith was coming in to play the villain in Morbius. And I did kind of wonder whether they would go down this route with the villains, maybe get them being sort of a friend figures turning on them and stuff like that, how they would utilise this and how it would work, because you've got these villains and you've not got Peter Parker. It may well be the case that we're going to get, what's he called, the guy who was in Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse?
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, you may get him coming in now and being a kind of a villain. Perhaps this will be their sort of a Dark Avengers film where he comes in and faces off against a whole host of villains. But I was wondering how they would take these villainous characters and have these self-contained stories without. How do you make a villain for a villain? Was the gist of what I was trying to say. And this is the way they do it. They go for the friend turn foe sort of a setup. It's very intriguing. It's great to see Matt Smith talking about this film. Not so great to hear him confirming that he's perhaps not in episode 9 after all, because we all thought he was going to play Darth Sidious, Chief Palpatine. But hey ho, he's talking about his love for Daniel Espinosa and just how he nearly did one last year and stuff like that. But he's now in, and I'm sure we'll get more news about this film dropping very soon, Stephen. And I'm going to keep an eye out now because I'm very intrigued about where they go now, having enjoyed Venom. Yeah,
John, we'll just move on quickly to this one. It's a very brief article coming in again from the playlist.net. It's the Suicide Squad. And the characters that are reportedly joining Idris Elba's Deadshot and James Gunn's DC film, John. Now, when I first heard that this was going to be a kind of slight reboot, I wasn't too fussed about it. I didn't mind Suicide Squad. The film came out a few years ago. This one is going to be a slight reboot. It's going to have some new interesting named, new members: Ratcatcher, Polka Dot Man, King Shark, and Peacemaker. Now, I don't really know too much about these, but those names are terrible.
Ratcatcher.
I've heard that Margot Robbie, depending on it really depends on her schedule whether or not she'll show up, which is one of the biggest surprises to me. Joel Kinnaman's character looks like he's going to be either out of it altogether or recast.
Yeah, how would you fit him in anyway, Stephen?
True.
Also, he was after Cara Delevingne's character, the villain from the original Suicide Squad. She met her untimely end, so there's no real need for him. He's superfluous to the greater story moving on. And look, I'm not too... It's sad to see Will Smith's not going to be coming back in as also Deadshot, but we're getting to see Idris Elba coming in, and he's a fantastic actor. He'll do the character justice. He'll put his own sort of a take on it. I do want to see Harley Quinn, also played by Margot Robbie, stepping back in, because she was one of the best things in the film. And if they're even harbouring a modicum of intent to keep this cinematic universe going forward,
I think
they have to keep characters.
I don't think it's a bad thing, John, maybe pulling her character back a little, because let's be honest here, she kind of overshadowed the whole thing, and that was because she was so good in the role. So it might not be a bad thing, just sort of reining that character back in a little bit, so we can get
Polka Dot Man,
more of him, and
Peacemaker and Ratcatcher. Touching on those crazy bloody characters, Stephen, briefly before we also wrap this show up, because we're running out of time here very swiftly. We've got a 30-minute recording limit. I'm not too fussed about this. Also, we had, I think, Killer Croc and stuff like that.
Yes.
All the other interesting characters. in the original Suicide Squad. Some not so interesting. That one with the boomerang was very cool. The ninja character was just completely superfluous to the story. But look, if you're rebooting the story and getting into a different direction with James Gunn helming and obviously writing it, then the natural direction you want to take it is to introduce a whole host of new characters which are going to obviously bolster this new story. And if there's anybody can do the likes of Ratcatcher, Peacemaker and Polka Dot Man justice, then it's going to be James Gunn. This is a guy that took the Guardians of the Galaxy, the most unlikely of strange bedfellows, brought them together. Nobody would have paid to have went and seen this film 10 years ago, but he made it work. He brought the likes of Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, and Dave Bautista, Chris Pratt, and he made it work. Bradley Cooper, obviously Saldana as well. He made it work. So he made these weird wondrous characters, a talking raccoon, a tree, Groot. He made it work, so he can make these characters work. He'll make these colourful characters, and look, they are certainly colourful. Peacemaker is colourful. Polka Dot Man looks like he's been
wrapped up in a twister game.
Dived into a massive big packet of Smarties or something like that. Stephen, man, he looks odd. But look, I'm not going to...
terrible.
Yeah, he looks terrible, but I'm sure James Gunn will modernise this character and make him look damn good nonetheless. So I'm looking forward to it. I did discuss it when you were away on holiday, I think, Stephen, about this new Suicide Squad, him stepping in, directing it, writing it. Glad to see James Gunn's getting another shot, and I cannot wait to see how this pans out for the greater DCEU.
Well, listen, that brings us to the end of this week's Movie Burner News. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us, and we'll be back again tomorrow with the blog rundown.
If you're liking this video, then why not check out our other content on our channel. Every Tuesday we break down the top 10 films in the UK on Box Office Chat. Every Wednesday we discuss the latest entertainment news on Movie Burner News. Every Thursday we chat about the latest movie reviews from our writing team on the blog rundown. And we wrap up the week and get ready for the weekend with the Force Friday show, where we discuss the latest news in the world of Star Wars. If you're liking the content we are putting out, then do subscribe to our channel by hitting that subscribe button and click the bell to receive alerts.